Hi there, my name is Jessica Drossin, and today I'm going to walk you through the redesigned and all new JD Autumn Tones. So, the reason I say redesigned and all new is I actually launched Autumn Tones last year. However, when I've been working on it, I realized that number one, I'd learned some new things over the year, and number two, I found some better ways to sort of preserve skin tones and add a little more diversity in the color range. And so I wanted to share that with you. And then I also completely created a few new actions that are fully new for this particular iteration of the product. And so I'm going to walk you through that right now. Basically, it pretty much feels all new to me. The idea is the same, but the approach and a lot of the implementation is different. So first of all, I'm just going to show you. Number one, what I did was I ran the audition all instant adjustments. Now this is from set one. To have set one, you have to own Adobe Creative Cloud. It will not work with just regular Photoshop, um, Creative Suite versions 1 through 6 or whatnot. It will not run with Elements. You need to have the subscription-based Creative Cloud in order to be able to fully utilize set one. So once you have it, what I like to do is while I'm getting to know all of the different options, I run the audition. What that does is it creates a lineup of all of them for me so that I can very quickly preview. Now, depending on your computer speed and how much RAM you have available, it may take, a while for you to load all of these up. So I'm going to be creating a few smaller auditions as well that are a little more targeted based on color. But for right now, I just wanted to have you show you everything so you can kind of get an idea of how these work and what they do. So here's my image, and I'm going to just start by showing you what it looks like after you've run the audition. We have some very, simple little actions here like contrast adjustment, and we would just increase that. It's set to a default of, I believe, about 15%, so I'll put it back there. Brighten tones, same situation. You would just add to the opacity if you wanted to get things brighter. Bring it back. And same thing with deepen tones. You would just increase the opacity to deepen your tones here. I'm going to leave those turned off, and I'm going to get to the real meat of the product, which is all the different tonalities here. So this is Augusta. This is Bold Autumn, Cedar, Chocolate Brownie, Earthy Autumn, Golden Wheat, Harvest, Honey Autumn, Muted Autumn, Olive, Orange Butter, Orange Crush, Perfect Fall, Rosewood, Russet, Scarlet Autumn, Summer's End, Sweet November, Vermilion, and Walnut. So hopefully what you're noticing here is that I'm trying to provide you with a lot of different tonal ranges that all warm up your images, but and some of them allow for more reds, some allow for more yellows and golds, but hopefully you get a lot of diversity. You can play with mixing and matching to a certain extent by, trying multiple combinations and sort of make your own effects here. This is Scarlet Autumn with Walnut. And then what you could do is you could go back into paint back skin tones. I've made this really easy so you don't have to worry about doing like careful little masks as long as you're painting in this black area here with a white, crank this up a little white paintbrush. We can bring back our skin tones, and we can even bring back a few greens if we want to. So here we go. All right. Now let's just continue on with this edit. And again, I'm just sort of selecting my actions here sort of randomly because this is just a demonstration. I'm not going to get too fussy. So let's see. Let's try playing with the contrast here again. Okay, this is just basically the default, and I kind of like the default contrast adjustment. And brighten tones, I don't think I want to use it overall, but I want to just select it. So I'm going to go into this mask itself. I've selected the mask. I'm going to go here to Edit Fill, and I'm going to make sure that it's filling it with black at 100%. I'm going to say OK. And now I'm just going to paint in a little bit with a soft brush of this brightening action layer just on her face, maybe around her a little bit. And I'm going to even go in there and blur it just slightly with some Gaussian blur. And now I'm going to just play with the opacity. And maybe I'm going to crank that up. I'm going to crank that up to almost 70% here. Just again, just kind of playing. Actually, now that I've added a little bit more, I'm gonna lower the opacity again to maybe put it right around 50%. Okay, so I'm gonna, since I've already shown you sort of what your different options when we're starting down a path, I'm gonna go ahead and just delete these additional layers. So I'm deleting the hidden layers. All right, this leaves us with only the ones that we're actually using right now. So what I'm going to do now is take you into some of the bonus actions. Now these appear in both sets, and I'm going to just go ahead and add. I'm going to go down the list here. I'm fine with how the leaves are looking and the greens, so I'm not going to even mess with dead leaves or fall greens. I'm going to go here to Fall Pop. Pardon me. And I am going to go into this mask area with a white brush, and I am just going to paint in a little bit of a warm fall saturation tone. And I may go ahead and add a little even here to some of my leaves. And here we are. Okay. So just basically painting in where I want a little more of this fall tone to be. You know, I'm even going to put here in a very low opacity, I'm even going to put a little bit on her cheeks maybe, just to give her a little bit of a rosy fall glow. And all right, see, I'm not getting too fussy about how I paint it in, and I'm just going to blur it. I like to blur in the mask. All right, so here's where we are in the edit. Next, I'm going to go down the list, and I see definition or sharpening. I'm going to go ahead and sharpen my image a little bit. And I just include these actions, so hopefully you can do your edit, if not entirely, just with these actions. You can do a lot of it with just these actions. Let's see what increased warmth looks like. That's kind of nice. I'm going to lower the opacity here a bit. Maybe make it around 60%. And I can remove noise if I'm noticing a lot of noise. I'm not here. I can add a warm vignette if I want to. And that's nice, but I think I'm going to leave out the warm vignette for now because I think we're going to use an overlay from the set too. And then I'm going to put in a warm sun flare. Now this is all new, the warm sun flare. This has not been released prior. And what you can do then is you can move this. Obviously we don't want it here in the center of the image, but it's fully movable. So we're just gonna place it here where we feel like it looks the best. And there we go. All right, and then now what I'm going to do is I am going to add in a little bit of some more color. So let's see, let's go into I'm trying to decide between clementine paint and opaque orange. I'm going to go with the clementine paint. We'll see how this looks. And again, I'm selecting the mask. I'm making sure that I have white as my color. And then I am going to paint into my image. And again, I always blur. I'm a little blur obsessive in my masks, but so that was what it was. There it is now. And let's see here. I'm going to go look at my overlays now. And I'm going to audition all the overlays. Again, these are in set 2. The paints, there's some highlight tones, and then there's some audition enhancements. And the main difference between set 1 and set 2 is set 1 does more of the work for you, and it takes it further than set 2 is able to do, if that makes sense. Set 2 is softer adjustments. You're going to spend a little more time making tweaks. Set 1 is a little bit more instantly transformative. So here we go. Let's look at all of our different options here for these instant fall overlays. Here's Acorn. Here's Autumn Wine. Here's Berry Fall. Candy Bar. Eggplant. Fall Sunset. Good Gravy. This is Mossy. That's Old Oak. There's Plum. And last is Sandalwood, which toggle that on and off really quick. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and use Sandalwood here. And now, let's see. Pretty happy with how this edit is looking so far. I may just even add in a little more fall pop. So I'm making sure that I'm painting into the mask. I've got my white brush. I have a low opacity, just 13. And I'm just going to paint just a little more saturation here into some of these areas. Now let's just see. Let's see what gold highlights looks like. I'm just really putting a lot of these in so you can kind of see what options you have. You could really take this out at 1,000 different ways depending on the the tools that you pick to work. I'm just going to try gold highlights here just to kind of show you what these different actions do. This is from set 2. And so this was it before, that's it after. I think I like it. I might just go ahead and paint in just a little less, perhaps on her face and skin tones. So I'm just going into my mask with a soft black brush and painting out just a little bit, maybe in her dress too. But again, I don't get really fussy with my masking. I keep it I work in low opacities quickly, and then I go and I gauge and blur inside of my mask just to make sure that all my transitions are really soft. So I think I like this. I'm going to go back here and just peek at this warm vignette again. Just double check that I think it's making it a little too red for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go with my original gut instinct and remove that. Let me just show you all of the different actions we've used. So here's where we were, and here's where we are, and let's see here. You know, I think we got there pretty quickly. And again, let's just say if you wanted to make any other tweaks, these are always customizable. They're always, you can always go in and change the opacities. So if you wanted to brighten up her just a little bit more, we sure could. But in general, I think this was, I'm hoping that you see this is a really quick, fun way to transform in a nice, elegant manner quickly an image and give it a little more of a fall feeling. And again, just feel free to always play and make these your own. You can go into the opacities, you can go into the folders, you can go into the folders interiors and turn things on and off. You can lower opacities here and there. But the bottom line is you make this is what it looks like at 50% opacity. You make this exactly how you want it to appear, to reflect your style. I'm not here to give you my style, I'm here to help you find your own style. And Photoshop is a deep and complex program, and if I can make that easier, that makes me really happy. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Again, this is the JD Autumn Tones sets 1 and 2. You can buy them as a bundle, or if you do not have the subscription-based Adobe Creative Cloud, you might just want to go set 2 because set 1 will not work for you. All right, well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy this. All right, bye-bye.